What up, y'all? It's Coffee on the vid. And this video is an interesting one. I really need to hear from all the fans, everyone on this one. Real talk. We got to get this debate discussion going. This was meant to be like an enough is enough type video. We're talking about Skip Bayless. And I had enough of this dude with those insensitive, disrespectful tweets when Damar Hamlin, thank God Damar's okay. He recovered. He was on my Bills roster all year long. It was a very scary situation what we saw out there on that field. But y'all remember the dumb-ish Skip was tweeting about when that was going on. And at that point, it was like I don't even like to really look back there or get negative and everything. But, at this point, with everything turning out to be a happy ending, it was scary. It was really seeming like Damar may have passed away, how they kept cutting to commercial and just the language that they were using when describing the situation. It was terrifying. And this guy's trying to sound clever and controversial on Twitter. And that's kind of the whole thing with this video, as we're going to be talking about multiple takes that Skip has. And also, I want everyone to tell me your things that pop in your mind about Skip that was some real boneheaded, stupid ish he said over the years. And when it comes down to it, I guess it's more just like I'm sick of the trolling, because we're going to get into some other takes that he had in this video. And, with these other takes, it's like I'm not saying I agree right on with what Skip is saying, but they bring up interesting debate and discussion. That's what it's all about in the media world, talking about different trending stuff. We're talking about sports right now, interesting takes for people to break down, dissect, and all that, or reporting the news and doing it in an interesting way, something to spark conversation and engagement with the people. And with these other two takes that we're going to share, I think Skip does that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying the other two takes are just on point and all that, but they're interesting and there's something to talk about. But this first take, to me, is just so asinine. And when it comes down to it, like, I'm originally making this video to say, oh my God, Skip, shut the fuck up. Enough is enough. As he has a real unhighlight reel of some BS that he said. And again, everyone, let me know the stupid ass things Skip has said. Like, let's get that whole thread going in this comment section as well. But I guess when we're also talking about some interesting points that he makes, the point that I'm really trying to get at is I'm sick of the trolling. It's like everyone does this. Let's troll. Let's say something controversial for the sake of saying it. Let's say something we really don't mean that's going to piss people off, or is just going to kind of rub people a certain way just for the sake of catching their attention, And then when you do that, you have a lot of people hate watching you or things like that. I'm just kind of sick of it in a sense. I get it. You got to get the people's attention. But at what point does just trolling get played out? I guess there's other ways to troll, to evolve from it. But I guess what I'm getting at then is that I'm really sick of the way that Skip Bayless trolls a lot of the time, because that's what he's doing, I think. And if y'all haven't seen what's going on here, what we're talking about is he called Barry Sanders overrated. Now, this ain't clickbait. I don't have a clip, but it's definitely confirmed. It's legitimate reporting, going into this Lions-Buccaneers game, which shout out to the Lions. What an amazing season they've had, making history, pushing it all the way to the NFC Championship. And I want to know everyone's take on that game, who you got, your predictions. Let's talk about that as well. It's simply amazing, man. What a great story, a Cinderella team that's always been counted out. And just, even dating back to who we're talking about here, Barry Sanders, how good Barry was. But, they couldn't really push on. And then Stafford bringing some happy times in hope to Detroit after the winless season and all those bad years, with Megatron, all those bad years. And then Stafford and Megatron and those teams and everything, but still being eliminated. And it's like, to here we are now with Goff. They did it. And it's pretty interesting. You see Barry and Jerry Rice. I guess it's looking like, I don't know if they're actually going to link up and watch this game together, but you see them talking about this game. They're two former teams going at it. And you even have fans, as this is perfect timing too with the Barry Sanders documentary, Bye Bye Barry, that came out, which caused quite the stir. I did a video on it where, one of Barry's former quarterbacks was pissed off about the documentary, things said by Wayne Fonts and different stuff like that. But it's all come together full circle at the right time with this Lions team and Barry Sanders cheering them on and all the momentum they have. And you got fans and other people saying, man, if the Lions get to that Super Bowl, there's got to be some way they can give Barry a one-day contract and let him ride the bench or go out there for one play, and so that if they win the Super Bowl, he can get a ring. And obviously that's against the rules. I don't think that can happen, right? Could they bring him in as a free? I don't think so, right? And that's often something I've felt as being a diehard Buffalo Bills fan with the great teams we've had lately. Being a Super Bowl contender, I always thought, man, when this team goes out there and gets that ring, I want to see Jim Kelly, Thurman Thomas, Bruce Smith, Andre Reed, the list goes on and on. Phil Hansen, whoever, Kelso, BB ended up getting a ring with the Packers, you know what I mean? But Darryl Talley, Cornelius Bennett, I want to see these guys go out there and celebrate with the Bills, even though Josh, Stefon Diggs, and these current Bills, they're on their own journey in a sense, when it comes to the fans. Bills Mafia, and in this sense we're talking about Lions fans, just in a frenzy right now and living out this amazing storyline in real time. A lot of these fans, they carry on the history of the franchise as well. The players do, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just really pointing out the way it all comes together full circle with these franchises. Somewhere in the midst of all this, Skip went off talking some dumb-ish, saying, will the 49ers, now he's talking even ish about the upcoming game, will the 49ers turn the Lions back into sacrificial lambs? Somehow in it all, though, he had negative things to say about Goff and Barry Sanders, and Jared Goff shook it off, and apparently you see Barry commenting, talking about how Skip ended up calling him overrated, and he had something else to say about, what did he say? The Lions can't beat the 49ers, but Brock Purdy can. Where is it? I'm sorry, y'all. I forget what exactly he said, but he had another ludicrous take about Barry Sanders, the type of runner he was, and it's like, listen, Barry Sanders is that dude. He had an amazing career. And I just don't understand where he gets off calling Barry Sanders overrated. You know what I'm saying? And then you got Goff and Barry Sanders basically being like, fluck what this guy's talking about. Who gives a fluck? We don't. We're not interested in hearing anything Skip says. And that's what I mean, guys. Like, what do you think about that? That's damn near blasphemous to say when it comes to talking football, in my opinion, about Barry Sanders. And that's where the whole trolling thing comes in. It's like, I'm just so sick of it. It's not just with Skip Bayless in the NFL. It's in any kind of news you follow, hip-hop news, pro wrestling news. Like, it's a cheat code a lot of people have developed. And, it just gets old where people just constantly have to revert back to that. And I believe that's what Skip is doing. I don't think he really believes Barry Sanders is overrated. Do you? Jump in the comments and let me know. But like I said, we didn't have the clip for that, but you see it was legitimately reported on. It's not clickbait, but we do have this clip. This is one of the takes I was like, okay, this is interesting to talk about. It might be a bit ridiculous to some people as well, but I don't know, there's just more here when you bring in the other elements and other factors.
Okay, so help me out here. You guys say that it's unquestioned that Bill Belichick's the greatest coach ever. And
the numbers suggest that.
Okay, all right, but he is available.
No, they don't suggest it. No, they don't suggest it. They stamp it. The numbers stamp it. They don't suggest it. They stamp it. They stamp it.
Okay, right. But I can unstamp those numbers by telling you that without Tom Brady as his quarterback, Bill Belichick is 21 games under 500. He's 64-85 in games that Tom Brady didn't start at quarterback for him. And once Tom got kicked out the back door in New England, Bill went 29-38, and in the 4 years made it to one playoff game and lost that game 47-17.
Yes.
And I always give it up to you guys. I say he's the greatest defensive mind ever. I give you that. But in the end, that means he was a glorified defensive coordinator for a dynasty because he ran the defense while Tom effectively ran the offense and made all the late plays to win all those Super Bowls. Tom won the first 6 Super Bowls with game-winning drives in the fourth quarter.
So Charlie Weiss wasn't called. So Charlie Weiss and Josh McDaniels was never. Tom Brady was calling the plays and designing everything.
Well, Tom took that offense over after about 2 years. And you always say his second Super Bowl was game management. All he did was throw for 354 yards in a shootout with Carolina, and he was the MVP. I don't know. That wasn't game
Michael, better yet, Skip.
All right, so you hear that. He's breaking down the numbers. Who's he talking with? Keyshawn and Michael Irvin. They're saying the numbers cement Belichick as the GOAT when it comes to coaching. And, Skip's saying he's a glorified defensive coordinator. He's using the numbers, what happened when Brady left. Listen, he is definitely a great defensive mind. I was telling y'all I'm a diehard Bills fan. A lot of Bills fans know that first Super Bowl that we lost to the Giants, that offense was unstoppable, right? The no huddle, everything the Bills did. And Belichick found ways to kind of slow us down, and they tried to go the whole time of possession route and everything. And I mean, obviously, we know the way the game ended. It kind of could have almost went either way. We missed that kick. It is what it is. But the point is, Belichick has been a great defensive mind and a great defensive coordinator. And I'm not saying I agree with Skip on this, but with Tom Brady being who he is and doing what he's done, and the all-around recognized GOAT, even by people that don't mess with Brady like me, as I always point out, as a diehard Bills Mafia, Brady, Belichick, I like Satan to me, but I got to give them their props. And this take is kind of interesting because after that, we know when Brady was gone, it was all bad for Belichick. He couldn't put anything together, really. They went to the playoffs the 1 year and got totally annihilated, embarrassed by my Buffalo Bills. But other than that, it was all bad to the point that Belichick and Robert Kraft decided it's the end of an era. It's time to call it quits, and they both go their separate ways and, start the rebuild with someone else. The Belichick era is over. I was surprised, though, that Belichick didn't get that job in L.A. I really thought that's where it was going to be, as there was reports before from Rappaport way back at mid-season, even before this whole loss over there in Germany or wherever they would, when it came out that, Kraft and Belichick met up and said, let's go our separate ways. And then it was reiterated after the season came to a close, the regular season, that they met one more time and decided to call it quits. Way before that, like week 6 or week 8 or something like that, Rappaport had been reporting, I think he was on the McAfee show, saying that it was already a done deal. Belichick was going elsewhere next year, and there was even reports that the team was already decided and it was the Chargers. But now we see with Harbaugh getting the job there, I don't know where will Belichick get his job, and you see Skip kind of also using that to say that Belichick isn't this great mind, and why doesn't he have a job yet? He isn't this GOAT coach. And it almost kind of feels like he's saying, as time goes on, more and more since Belichick and Brady split off and went their separate ways, it's been cemented that it was more Tom Brady, one man alone, than Belichick, the coaching, and the rest of the team. What do y'all think about that comment? I kept saying Brady should have retired after he went to Tampa and got that ring. He shouldn't have stuck around and went out the way he did. But do y'all agree with me on that that's a better take, something more interesting to talk about than to just flat out call out Barry Sanders overrated? Like, come on, man. I mean, with Belichick, it's kind of similar in a sense where he's just ishing on Belichick's legacy, like, yo, he's a glorified defensive coordinator. He's no GOAT. okay, that is kind of a wild statement as well, but you bring into it the whole Tom Brady side of the coin, and it kind of becomes an interesting conversation, if you ask me.
I hear what both of you say about Patrick Mahomes. I give it up to Mahomes. He was very good. I thought Josh Allen outplayed Mahomes last night, especially given degree of difficulty, because the Bills' defense was flat out decimated. They were even losing players during the game. We had backups to backups to backups. We had guys off their couch playing defense for the Bills last night. And don't get me started on Matt Milano gone early this year, Tre'Davious White gone early this year. It was a mismatch to me of Mahomes versus what was left of the Bills defense, and they got little to no pressure on Mahomes. So he's nonchalantly back there picking them to pieces. And when I looked up late in the first half and he hit Kelsey for that 22-yarder for a touchdown, how do you not cover Travis Kelsey? How do you leave him gone wide open, like nobody's around him? Well, obviously, he's the number one option left for Patrick Mahomes. So how do you do that? So given the pressure on Josh Allen and given the stats that I'm looking at, Josh Allen actually dominated this game with his arm and his legs, even though I give you, Richard, he was dinking and dunking, but I've never heard of such a statistical anomaly as what happened last night. The Bills ran 78 plays to only 47 for Patrick Mahomes. Time of possession was 37 minutes for the home team to only 23 minutes for Patrick Mahomes. Conversions on 3rd and 4th down. Would you believe Buffalo went 9 of 17? That'll win a whole lot of football games. And yet Patrick was only asked to go 5 times on 3rd down. He faced 5 thirds, and guess what? He converted 1 out of 5. 1 out of 5 versus 9 out of 17. So you step back from this and say, well, then what happened? I hear what both of you say.
All right, then another interesting, debatable take we got here, that Josh Allen outplayed Patrick Mahomes in this divisional round matchup. Bills, Chiefs, the rematch. The history between these teams, you know, that the Bills and Josh Allen, my squad. What's up, Bills Mafia? Times is high right now. We'll pick up the pieces. We'll get back. It's frustrating. That's a whole nother conversation. But stay tuned. We got a little bit more Bills news, Bills discussion in just a moment. But you know what I mean? All right. So then another debatable, disputable take, I guess I would say. Let me know if you agree in the comments below, that Josh Allen in the Buffalo Bills in the rematch, one of the craziest playoff games we ever saw a few years ago. This was the rematch, the history between these teams, the rivalry that's developed. And, you know, it's just like Josh and the Bills going into this, the series was 3-3. You know, a lot of people just thought, like I pointed out in another video, I seen some big YouTuber in this NFL sports world, huge YouTuber, putting out that Josh and the Bills finally beat Mahomes and the Chiefs just a few weeks back, a month back, that, regular season game when the Bills first just started turning things around in that win streak. And it's like, no, the series was actually tied 3-3. We beat them last year as well. We beat them a couple years ago in a pretty lopsided victory where there was a big delay, like, you know, the old Super Bowl where the Ravens 49ers, which is wild, that could end up being the Super Bowl again this year. The old Harbaugh Bowl where there was that power outage at halftime. The Bills Chiefs, the game I'm talking about a few years back. I forget, was it the same year as the 13 seconds game? I can't recall, but there was a big delay for a thunderstorm and the Bills didn't lose the momentum and won the game. It's just whenever it comes down to the playoffs, the Bills just can't seem to get over this hump and win. You know, it's frustrating. It hurts. Again, I'm a diehard member of Bills Mafia. We're trying to pick up the pieces and carry on right now. And stay tuned too. We got a little bit more Buffalo Bills news after this little segment here. But Bayless, you heard, says Josh outplayed Mahomes. And you heard the time of possession, the plays ran, the stat line, etc. And you know, again, I think this is a more intriguing, more talk-worthy take of Bayless, other than just ishing on a legend like Barry Sanders, or once again disrespecting someone who seems like they may be on the verge of death, like literally talking about a game being canceled. Just disrespectful knucklehead. You know, this one, like, let's talk about it. And again, let's talk about this as well as everything else in this video. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, stay tuned. We cover music, sports, current events. We cover a lot of stuff on this channel. Some say too much stuff, but that's just how J Coffee Talk rocks, you know, as well as I got locked out of my other channels. We're trying to work on that. But some would say, in reality, Mahomes outplayed Josh, because Josh, at the end of the day, that last drive, couldn't punch it in, couldn't do what he had to do. I mean, the kicker missed the kick. But, you know, even Josh said, hey, I wish I didn't put Bass in that situation. You know, that late pass where he went for the gusto for the end zone instead of hitting Diggs underneath across the middle for the first down. You know, there's a lot of talk of the coaching, that the Bills continue to be out-coached in these big games. And I think there's truth in all of this. But I don't know. Did Josh Allen outplay Mahomes a bit in this game? Was Mahomes going up against a decimated Bills defense? I mean, yes, that's a part of the game, is injuries. No question. That's a fact, but it's just unfortunate and tough for this Bills team that last year and this year we were bit by the injury bug in a major, ludicrous way. You heard of Milano, Trey Day, the list goes on and on. But I don't know, let me know your thoughts about this. Go Bills again, Bills Mafia. I ain't giving up. It's crazy right now. It's like crisis mode. And one more thing about this that frustrates me. This Bills team is amazing, is talented. There's all this talk with the Super Bowl window and everything, but I wanted that, like this year when we ended up playing Mahomes and the Chiefs, I was like, you know what, in this divisional game that we lost, I'm like, I want to beat them. I want the Bills to win the Super Bowl by beating KC, not by KC happening to lose to someone else and then we beat another squad. Like, no, I want to beat them. Just like I was very frustrated, as you know, we've owned the AFC East. It runs through Buffalo, however many years straight this has been that we're the division champions. I wanted Brady's last season, you know, I wanted us to win the division by beating Brady and the Patriots, as Brady moved on to the Tampa and the NFC and everything like that. I don't know, man. It's crazy. Like I was talking about in the beginning of this video, all the talk about Barry getting a ring, or, you know, living vicariously through this Lions team right now, and the franchise history and the fans watching it all continue on. It's like, it's even deeper with this Bills team, as we've been just on the verge, you know. So jump in the comments, let me know what you think about all this stuff with Skip, these takes. Like I said, man, I'm just so sick of the trolling. I'm so sick of the drastic shock value trolling. It gets old. I think Skip's shtick has just grown stale, and I'm tired of it, man. Like, enough is enough. Let me know if you agree. But moving on to this final bit of Buffalo Bills news that I wanted to cover. Stefon Diggs, during the season, all the talks of if Diggs is upset, you know, what's going on? Is there drama? Is he going to leave Buffalo? What's going to happen? Are him and Josh cool? What does this mean? What does that mean? You know, it's been crazy. It's been a wild ride. And I've always, you know, stuck to my guns that I think Diggs really wants to be here, that he's a competitor. You know, like when he turned up on that HBO show, The Shop, after the end of last season, and he let it be known, you know, everything's good money. This is my team. This is Josh. He's my brother. He's my teammate. All these guys, these are my brothers, as I pointed out over and over again. This Bills team, like, there's good morale. They're a team, you know. McDermott, say what you will about him. You know, I'm not even getting back into the whole McDermott thing and coaching and all that. But one thing you can't take away from the guy is the fact that he changed the culture of this Buffalo Bills team. And, you know, these guys rallied around him. And, you know, like, I don't know. Again, there's so many other stuff about him being out-coached, coming up short and everything. But he changed the culture of Buffalo Bills football. And these guys got love for him. As we saw all that stuff come out with the article, the whole 9-1 thing, the bone head thing that he said way back then, that article, that hit piece that kind of was taking aim at McDermott when he was in the hot seat. And the Bills players, like, their action showed what it is. They rallied around McDermott and things changed. And, you know, I mean, obviously that change at offensive coordinator was a big part of it. But anyways, at the end of the season, with McDermott, Diggs, Josh Allen, all this quote came up, you know, where McDermott was addressing the media about everything about this season. And everyone's noticing when he was asked about Stefon Diggs, if he's going to be in Buffalo or not, what the future may hold. He said, I love Steph, and he was a phenomenal teammate. And right away, everyone noticed what's going on? Why is he using the past tense? Was, you know, is there something to read into this? Or is this just one simple word? Does he mean was because of this season? I don't know. I really don't know what to make of this, man. Because as I've always stated, I really feel like Diggs wants to be here. But at times I have felt like maybe there is a little something going on. I don't know, you know. And then now there's all the discussions about Diggs lost the step, this big drop pass that he had in this game. There were some other drops from Trent Sherfield and James Cook. Cook had a similar drop in the game versus the Eagles, which was like a for sure touchdown. But if Diggs was to go in any way, someone breaks it down here when it comes to contractually what it would look like with the cap and everything. You know, as everyone, all my Bills fans, everyone out there, comment, let me know what you think about this Bills team, about Stefon Diggs, if he will be back and who he may see back or not back. And, you know, like everyone's contracts, how many years do they got left? What kind of a hit will it be to the cap? Does it make sense to let him go or not, etc.? And someone put out monthly reminder on what trading Stefon Diggs would mean. 2024 dead cap would cost the Bills $31 million plus, which is $3 million more than his $28 million salary cap hit having him on the team. This means if we are currently $43 million over the cap, we would now be $46 million over the cap with one less player. So I don't know. Take from that what you will. What do you think about it all? And then some free agents that the Bills got to make a decision about this year. And, you know, these guys definitely we don't want to see go. Here you see 5 Buffalo Bills free agents they should not let go. Daquan Jones, amazing talent. Leonard Floyd, another great player. Ty Johnson. That's interesting, as he's a running back. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about Ty Johnson. We saw him in the playoffs there. A lot of people, too, like Fournette. They wanted to see Fournette used a little bit more. I don't know. Obviously, Fournette was a guy we just picked up. You know, and too, some I wanted to point out, aside from this, Dane Jackson, he's another secondary. He's a guy, man, that really showed he deserves to be a starter, as he wasn't always a starter. He was kind of a guy right there on the bubble of being a depth guy or a starter, and more he really, really showed what a key contributor he could be to the Bills defense. And he had an injury in the playoffs as well, as if I remember correctly. And you heard what Bayless was saying, like, it was crazy the way the Bills were bit with the injury bug. I mean, that's the way it goes. That's the way the cookie crumbles. But it was absolutely insane with this defense. And the fact, like, we saw it last year as well, but the fact that the next guy kept contributing. We saw that last year and this year. Things got thin this year. You heard about him talking about a guy coming off the street, off the couch, AJ Klein, you know, a NFL veteran. All things considered, he did pretty well. But Dane's another guy we don't want to see go. And then Micah Hyde, who I've kind of been talking about in other videos, the dynamic duo Poyer and Hyde. Is that it for them? I think it very well may be. You know, it looked like Poyer was going to sign somewhere else last year. He was talking about taxes and all that. He came back. You know, Hyde, very serious injury, neck injury, missed most of last season. He got hurt again this year multiple times. And even coming back, He had a stinger, and you know, like, I don't know, it's getting to the point where Hyde, to me, the question is not just will he be back with the Bills, will he play football anymore? Obviously, I want to see the dynamic duo back out there. You know, I was so happy to see them get one more year in Buffalo, as everything we've been talking about with this this team, this journey that they've been on to get a ring. These guys, it only made sense for them to be there, and I don't know, will they be there next year? I'm going to say more than likely not, but you guys let me know what you think about it, as well as everything else we touched on this video. Once again, I thank y'all so much for tuning in. You could have been anywhere, you know, doing whatever. And for real, if you made it this far in the video, I'm just curious to know, you know, as I love creating this content, talking football or whatever the topics may be with you guys out there, do me a solid, right? Leave an exclamation point emoji, right? Not just an exclamation point, an emoji. They got that like big red one, or the double one, or the exclamation question mark combo emoji. Leave one of those, and then a coffee emoji, and then hashtag END, right? Just curious to see if y'all made it here. But I'll catch you guys on the next one. Go Bills. What a crazy NFL season. And Skip Bayless, I'm sick of your shtick. Till the next time, it's Coffee signing out, and I'm gone. Have a great day, everyone.